The Chiefs just got an injury update on wide receiver Rashee Rice, who just went on the I Am Athlete podcast and outlined his goals for 2025. You guys are listening to the KC Sports Report. My name is Michael Darcy. Hit that like button on this video and subscribe to this channel for more of the best daily Chiefs content on YouTube. Now, before we get into this video going over what Rashee Rice said in that interview, I want to talk about what Rashee Rice is probably going to have to face in 2025. Now, we're all aware that he got into a traffic altercation down in Dallas a couple years ago, and it was basically him drag racing in the middle of the day and, causing a couple wrecks and just doing a bunch of stuff that is not exactly okay. And so a lot of NFL fans thought that Rashee Rice should be suspended last year because this happened in the summer of 2024. But with the way the NFL has handled their suspensions, they haven't suspended players until the legal process is finished. And for Rashee Rice, that legal process is not finished. So he is still going through that. And while he was going through that, he was able to play in 2024. Now, he did have his season cut short by suffering that knee injury against the Chargers, but I think that a lot of Chiefs fans are very optimistic and excited to see what Rashee Rice is going to do in 2025. Even if he's suspended for 4 to 6 games, you're still going to get, hopefully, a season of a healthy Rashee Rice who is rehabbing from that injury in Chiefs Kingdom. We saw it in the first 2-3 weeks of the season. Rice was a number one receiver. He took that step from 2 years ago, and he legitimately looked like a number one wide receiver. And so there's reason to be very optimistic about Rashee Rice in this offense, but we still have to get through this whole legal trouble. We still have to get through the suspension, which is likely hanging over his head. And he also needs to come back from this injury. But he did kind of talk about his recovery process in that interview, which I will play. But before I do that, I want to give a shout out to the sponsor of this video. This video is sponsored by DM Injury Law. Have you been injured in an accident? You may be entitled to significant compensation, but you need to act fast. Trust the skilled personal injury lawyers at DM Law, Kansas City and Missouri's leading injury law firm. DM Law is a full-service personal injury firm backed by a large support staff of investigators, case managers, medical record specialists, and more. With over $600 million recovered for thousands of clients, DM Law isn't afraid to take your case all the way to trial. Every right deserves a fight. The best part, you don't pay unless they win your case. DM Law works on a contingency fee basis, no fees unless they win. Plus, they offer free consultations. If you've been injured, don't wait. You can call DM Law today for a free consultation and find out how they can help you get the compensation you deserve. Let them handle the fight while you focus on recovery. Hurt in a car wreck? Call Mike. Remember, Mike's got this. With offices in Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Colorado, DM Law is here to serve you. You can call or visit them online today to schedule your free consultation. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisement. Thank you to DM Injury Law for sponsoring this video. Now, getting back into the main portion of this video, I want to go ahead and share my screen. This is an article from the Wichita Eagle. Now, it's originally from the Kansas City Star, but they've got a paywall. And no offense, but I was not trying to pay for that. So I got this article from the Kansas City Star, now on the Wichita Eagle. And it basically says Chiefs Rashee Rice outlines his goals for the 2025 season following knee surgery. And the author basically kind of goes over, the injury, how it was a freak injury where Patrick Mahomes collided with Rashee Rice, basically busting up his knee, and he had to miss the entire season. Now, in the podcast, Brandon Marshall, former wide receiver in the NFL, asked Rice what he's been up to, and he was basically like, I've been in, Florida working out with, his rehab doctor, Sharif Taba, and he's a physical therapist, and Rashee Rice has been walking and rehabbing and getting those, practice reps in on his own, and he's looking all right. Rashee Rice talked about his injury and if it affected him mentally on the podcast, and he said this. Quote, yeah, for a long time, honestly, Rice said, especially just seeing X, Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown, just all my guys out there being able to ball. We had training camp, and just training camp was a glimpse of what we knew was going to happen for the rest of the season. So, I mean, it took a toll on me mentally, but the best thing I could do was to continue to surround myself with those guys and just being around the program as much as I can so I can keep my mind clear. And I think it's interesting to mention that he said to keep my mind clear. Not only was Rashee Rice going through the recovery process, rehabbing that injury, but he's also got that whole legal issue hanging over his head. And so for Rashee Rice to be in the Chiefs facility each and every day, rehabbing that injury during the season when he was hurt, that was a mental escape for him. That was a chance for Rashee Rice to be around his friends and not have to think about the horrible stuff going on. He just got hurt for the first time in his NFL career. You know, he just had that issue with the Dallas, Texas, speeding situation with basically drag racing on the open highway during the afternoon. He went through all of that and he got hurt on top of it. So it's interesting to see that he wanted to be around the guys to keep his mind clear. And the article kind of just mentions that Rashee Rice had 24 receptions for 288 yards and 2 touchdowns. And if we just want to go on what he was on pace for, he was on pace for 136 receptions in 1,632 receiving yards and 11 touchdowns. Rice really grew in his connection to Patrick Mahomes, and I think that we would have seen Rashee Rice be the number one option in this offense. It wouldn't have had to be Xavier Worthy. It wasn't going to be Hollywood Brown. It was going to be Rashee Rice. And so when Rashee Rice got hurt, that kind of ruined all of the Chiefs' plans. But I'm super excited to see what Rashee Rice is going to do moving forward, because I think that he is someone that really, the sky's the limit. He could be a number one wide receiver in this system, have Patrick Mahomes throwing him the football. And again, we saw the transition between Rashee Rice in his rookie season and Rashee Rice in his second year, and he took that next step. And that next step, I mean, I just mentioned it, 288 yards and 2 touchdowns. He only played in 3 or 4 games. He got injured very early on in the season, and I'm just super excited to see what he is going to do, this season after he serves a potential suspension. But I do think that it is worth noting that mentally Rashee Rice is still recovering. We've seen all the videos of him practicing and getting those reps in, and I think that's good, but it's just going to come down to, can he continue making strides in his recovery? Can he continue improving? And if he can, he's going to be back on the football field sooner rather than later. So, Chiefs Kingdom, I want to hear from you guys down in the comment section below. What do you think of this, update from Rashee Rice himself? Again, he went on the I Am Athlete podcast and talked about his injury. I will actually link in the description the entire podcast so you can go ahead and listen to it. It was a good listen. Really cool to see Rashee Rice, doing some media stuff after, he's basically been quiet for a while now. But I'm super excited to see what Rashee Rice is going to do in 2025 and beyond for this Chiefs team. So Chiefs Kingdom, that is all I have for this video. Hit that like button and subscribe for more of the best daily Chiefs content on YouTube. Until next time, guys, thank you for watching this video. And as always, go Chiefs.